Add the 83 pills given earlier by the demon saint, and I had nearly 1,000 in hand. Among them, 21 were top-tier demon pills. An incredible number. It shocked the entire demon realm. Over 1,000 high-grade demon pills, rare indeed. You could say I was definitely set for life now. Even now, I was hardly able to contain my excitement. The demon mother's expression flickered continuously each time I opened a bottle. She was stunned. Until the total was counted, and she froze. The demon saint looked at me and said, "Why do you want so many demon pills? You'd never finish them all, thousands of pills, not even enough to eat for 1,000 years. Of course, I didn't answer and put all the demon pills away. If I told him I planned to eat them all at once, he'd be shocked and call me crazy. At that moment, the demon saint's eyes gleamed with a hint of ill intent. I wasn't the least bit afraid. Demonic nature usually means stabbing in the back. But if he dared make a move, I'd lead him to the formation. With Zhang Baisui's formation, killing him would be no problem. The demon saint stared at me for 10 seconds, but in the end, didn't make a move, his face returning to normal. Taking advantage, I said, "Demon saint, you better hurry and claim your rewards. Things might change if you delay." He glanced at me. "You're not going to tell anyone about today's events, right?" "Don't worry," I answered seriously. "Alright, if you leak this, I swear I'll kill you both," the demon saint warned. I nodded. The demon mother sensed the killing intent and quickly nodded as well. The demon saint went back inside, and when he came out again, there was a black leather pouch at his waist, and he was wearing a semi-transparent garment. Clearly, that clothing allowed him to conceal his identity, so after the internal strife ended, no other demon saints would recognize him. I said, "Once I take you as my disciple, it won't change. When I return, you will be my only closed-door apprentice." After he said that, with a swoosh, he tore through the air, turning invisible mid-flight. I watched, stunned. "Are you really going to become his disciple?" the demon mother asked. "I already have a master. Besides, am I crazy? He can betray his own brothers anytime. Why would I trust he won't sell me out?" I stared at her. "Who was that woman training in the Death Valley?" "I don't know," the demon mother hurriedly replied. "He just tried to kill us to cover his tracks. I guess that woman made him change his mind." I said, "That woman's identity is extraordinary. Who in the demon realm could she be? I really don't know." The demon mother lowered her voice, afraid of being overheard. "Since you won't tell me, I won't force it," I said, then took out the Thunderstrike bamboo sword. "I have to hurry into the formation before the owner of the Golden Bell arrives, using these 1,000 demon pills to perfect my unbreakable demon skill." "Wait," the demon mother hesitated, then called out to me. I turned and asked her, "What is it?" "If not for orders, I wouldn't give a damn about you," she said angrily, her face full of helplessness. "So?" I pressed. "You're asking on purpose? Didn't you just say you're short on people?" she asked coldly. "Right, I am. Damn it." The demon mother ground her teeth. "This is dangerous," I said. "If you die, so do I. Rather than certain death, I'd rather fight." She was even angrier. "Did I owe you in my past life? Became your servant?" "Maybe," I answered helplessly. "Is that how you see it?" She snorted coldly. "Come on, take me with you." "Fine, I'm not forcing you. Stop talking, let's go," she urged. I said seriously, "As long as I live, I will keep my promise. I want to make you a demon saint." "No need. After this, I never want to see you again," the demon mother said coldly. "If you help me, I will repay you tenfold. You treat me with respect, I'll return it by a mile," I said. Her expression softened a bit. "Then I'll wait for you to keep your word." "Of course." The Thunderstrike bamboo appeared beneath my feet, lifting me into the air. I was eager beyond words. The demon mother flew alongside me. She said, "I have to admit, if it weren't for you, the demon realm couldn't have gotten so many demon pills. Just luck." I smiled bitterly. If I hadn't just disrupted the heavenly realm's formation, affecting the demon realm's formation, I wouldn't have convinced the demon saint or obtained these 1,000 demon pills. Suddenly, I saw many demon women riding clouds toward the demon emperor's palace, each carrying huge red lanterns, red carpets, and festive decorations. "What are they doing?" I asked. "The news of the demon emperor's wedding has already spread by the time you went to Demon Mountain," the demon mother said. A chill went down my spine. That demon general holding the red imperial edict, was he going to announce the emperor's marriage? Who is he marrying? I asked anxiously. "No idea, but any woman favored by the demon emperor must be stunning," the demon mother answered. I was shocked. "Isn't that the dragon maiden of the Yangtze River?" The demon emperor had his eyes on her, a virgin of 1,000 years, preparing for an official marriage. I stared at the Demon Emperor's palace, my heart sinking. Is the Dragon Maiden imprisoned right now? She can't resist at all? Knowing her nature, she would never submit willingly, she would rather die than obey. The only possibility is that her magical power has been stripped, the Demon Emperor has crippled her. She must be suffering immensely. My heart broke. I promised her to enter the demon realm together, yet I failed her. I owe her so much. This time, I absolutely cannot let her marry a man she doesn't love. Do you know the bride? The demon mother asked. I urged, tell me the wedding date. In 3 days, the demon mother responded. 3 days? I looked toward Demon Mountain. According to plan, the Golden Bell's owner would arrive within a day. If I capture him within 1 or 2 days, there's still time to rescue the Dragon Maiden. Causing a scene at the Demon Emperor's wedding, so be it. A few months ago, Long Shiba had interrupted the Yellow River Dragon King's wedding to take away the Water Palace Empress. I can do the same today. This time, I have only one goal, to take the Dragon Maiden away. The Golden Bell's owner is racing here. No matter who he is or how powerful he is, I must catch him this time. My gaze hardened as I focused on the Demon Emperor's palace. The demon women had arrived, red lanterns were hung everywhere, vibrant and glaring. That blood red looked as if it were dyed by the Dragon Maiden's own blood. Dragon Maiden of the Yangtze, wait for me, I will definitely take you away. I shouted from my heart. I hope she can hear me. Maybe the Demon Emperor won't have peace for much longer, the Demon Mother suddenly remarked, laden with meaning. Let's go. I whispered urgently, and Thunderstrike Bamboo immediately dashed forward, carrying me straight toward Demon Mountain. The Demon Mother followed closely behind. I asked her, you said yesterday that within 3 days is the best time for me to pass the demon tribulation? By the time we waited for the demon pill earlier, 1 day had already passed. Today, we wait another day for the Golden Bell owner. If all goes well, and I manage to catch him in 1 more day, I'll just be in time to pass the tribulation. If I'm not a demon immortal before the Demon Emperor's grand wedding chaos, my success chances are too slim. If I create chaos, it has to be earth-shattering. To take the Yangtze Dragon Maiden away completely. Exactly. If I live to come out of Demon Mountain, you have to help me pass the tribulation. I said firmly. The Demon Mother stared at me in surprise. What exactly are you planning? I'm going to stir up the Demon Emperor's wedding. My gaze was sharp as a blade. The Demon Mother's eyes widened in shock. Are you insane? The Demon Emperor could crush you with a finger. I remained calm. So what? I can't let the Yangtze Dragon Maiden down again. I've already offended the Jade Emperor in the Celestial Realm, I don't mind offending the Demon Emperor now. You really are mad. The Demon Mother glared at me. The Demon Emperor's magic is supreme. No one in the Demon Realm can match him, they're beyond our level. I have no other choice. This Demon Emperor's bride is my friend. I interrupted coldly. The Demon Mother was stunned. You want to cause chaos at the Demon Emperor's wedding, all for your friend? If not for her, why else would I? I retorted. The Demon Mother took a deep breath, complex emotions in her eyes. You don't belong in the Demon Realm. There are no passions here. But I admire your loyalty. I've been in the Demon Realm for millennia, never seen anyone like you. I believe in loyalty, but it doesn't exist here, nor in me. After saying that, the Demon Mother led the way flying toward Demon Mountain. I hesitated for a moment. Let's go. I called out. Thunderstrike Bamboo naturally took me flying toward the mountain. At the summit, I explained in detail what I needed the Demon Mother to do. After listening, she still looked doubtful. Do you really think this formation can trap someone? It can. I hoped so with all my heart. I seriously doubt it. She snorted. Just to warn you, if you die, I'm running immediately. Relax, I'm only asking for your help, not risking your life. I led her to the entrance of a demon cave. She entered to inspect and shook her head. This is just an abandoned cave, where's the formation? I pulled out a formation flag and taught her how to use it. After sensing it, her expression changed drastically. What kind of formation is this? I've never seen anything like it. Good that you haven't. Adapt to it first. That person will definitely come today, I said. The Demon Mother nodded, carefully feeling the formation flag, then sat cross-legged and generated a streak of black lightning. The lightning shot out, agile and sharp, like a clone. I need to find an exit route, the Demon Mother said. She was afraid of dying here. Don't worry, I'll protect you. I promised. I don't trust anyone. I only trust you halfway, she replied coldly. Thunderstrike Bamboo led me into another demon cave. I had to seize the moment and swallow all 1,000 demon pills. Then I noticed something strange on the ground. When leaving, the little fox had brought the electric mother to investigate, and they had clearly noticed the change too. The mountain foot between the 5 peaks was shrouded in a gray mist, giving it an unusual air. I looked down and saw strange, massive lines etched into the earth. "Little fox!" I called. "This way," she hurriedly beckoned. We rushed over to find her and the electric mother circling something. A golden chain was deeply embedded in the ground, ordinary looking on the surface, but I recognized immediately how unbreakable it was. At its center, intricate runes densely converged. It was a mysterious rune formation. Not among the 10 absolute formations I knew, its purpose was unclear. The runes seemed to pull your gaze into an abyss. "Grandma Electric Mother says this is Millennium Profound Essence," Little Fox explained. Millennium Profound Essence? I was puzzled, never heard that name before. Seeing it, the Electric Mother's earlier fear was remarkably lessened. Clearly, it was extremely powerful. Electric Mother said, 18, this Millennium Profound Essence is from the dawn of heaven and earth, gathering the essence of the cosmos. It's very rare. Only 3 were ever created. 1 resides in the celestial realm, the other 2 remain lost. Who would have thought one would be hidden here? It's 1,000 times harder than iron, impervious to weapons and fire, and can lock anything down. Once it locks, there's absolutely no escape. That powerful? I was shocked. It's somewhat like my own demon keychains. After all, my demon keychains can't be opened even by immortals, they're indestructible. Could there be a connection between the two? For now, though, I wasn't sure if my demon keychains would work against the Golden Bell owner. Exactly. Dianmu's eyes sparkled. If we use this 10,000-year profound essence to lock that person up, today's plan will probably succeed. Dianmu's words boosted my confidence even more. When that person arrives, I have to give it a try. I stroked the 10,000-year profound essence. Indeed, it was incredibly hard. This must be the treasure Zhang Baisui left behind when he set up the formation all those years ago. As long as I activate the ultimate formation, I can use it. I already had a plan in mind. Once the owner of the Golden Bell comes in, I'll activate the 5 Mountains God Extermination formation to trap him, then lock him up with the 10,000-year profound essence, ensuring he can't move. That's when the trap will truly succeed. Of course, I'll try to avoid a direct confrontation. I know my own strength. If successful, I'll have the Demon Mother help me cross the demon tribulation, then go disrupt the Demon Emperor's wedding. I was filled with anticipation but also prayed nothing would go wrong when he came. I only have 3 days to capture him. Then, I had Thunderstrike Bamboo Sword enlarge. Little Fox, Godmother, I'll escort you both into your respective demon caves first. Little Fox and Dianmu jumped up. As I sent them into their demon caves, I specifically instructed Dianmu, your magic power is gone now. Act within your limits. Got it, Dianmu nodded. Feeling reassured, I then sent Little Fox into another demon cave. You both must act within your limits. The demon caves are the safest place, I said sternly. Little Fox said nothing. I could tell she wanted to help but it was too dangerous. You must obey. I was even firmer. She remained silent and just hugged me. That silent embrace spoke 1,000 words and left me stunned. She obediently sat cross-legged, her innocent eyes fixed on me, without a trace of fear. I sighed and let Thunderstrike Bamboo lead me to another demon cave. Once inside, Demon Mother, Dianmu, and Little Fox all looked at me. I immediately sealed the cave entrance with demon aura. This would prevent any prying eyes, not to keep them in, but to keep others out. Thunderstrike Bamboo took human form to guard me. I sat cross-legged and dumped out all the demon pills. Clatter! Over 1,000 demon pills piled into a small mountain, including Demon Mother's pills. The tiny cave suddenly filled with the scent of herbs. Even the air felt thick with medicinal aroma. I dare say most demon immortals in the demon realm would become insanely jealous if they saw these demon pills. But to me, these demon pills were just my training snacks. I grabbed 5 or 6 with both hands, stuffing them into my mouth one by one. The taste was even more bitter and astringent than before, burning like flames. But to break through, I bit and swallowed with all my might. The pills transformed into medicinal power filled with demon energy, burning inside me. In an instant, I felt like a furnace, sweating profusely. But soon my stomach felt severely bloated, my veins nearly bursting. Because I had eaten too many. These high-quality demon pills were dozens of times stronger than the ordinary ones before. I had to be careful, a slight mistake could make my body rupture and kill me. I hurriedly followed the unbreakable demon technique to guide the medicinal power, and the swelling gradually subsided. I exhaled and continued to mouth the pills, guiding the power to strengthen my body. Glug! In half an hour, I ate 300 demon pills, my teeth ached. An hour later, I reached 700, nearly losing all my teeth. Another half hour, the small mountain of pills in front of me were all swallowed. My mouth trembled, numb and without sensation. By this point, the medicinal power inside me had reached an unimaginable level. More than half the power of the 1,000 pills had been absorbed, filling my skin and flesh. The unbreakable demon technique was advancing rapidly. Now, only 1/3 of the medicinal power remained. I took a deep breath and guided the power to surge wildly into my body. 10 hours later, I suddenly opened my eyes. They shone with divine light. The power of those 1,000 demon pills was completely absorbed through my technique. The demonic energy within the pills was also expelled. During these hours, I continuously felt my body change. Until just now, I was truly shocked. 1 demon pill equals 10 or 100 years of cultivation. 1,000 pills gave me at least 10,000 years of cultivation. And it only took a little over 10 hours. All thanks to the miraculous unbreakable demon technique. Of course, this cultivation fully strengthened my physical body. Otherwise, just these 1,000 pills alone would have caused my cultivation to soar by 10,000 years. Now, my body felt as tough as steel. Looking down at my hands, the skin hadn't changed, but it felt as hard as diamond. A casual squeeze made my veins bulge, power surging. The unbreakable demon technique not only increased my body's toughness but also enhanced my internal strength. Thunderstrike Bamboo, try again. I couldn't wait. Thunderstrike Bamboo approached and sliced my arm with his finger sharpened like a sword. Use strength, I commanded. Thunderstrike Bamboo intensified his force, fingertip becoming even sharper. More strength, I urged. Lei Jiju strikes with full force, his edge fully unleashed. No matter how you try, the skin can't be pierced. I can no longer feel the slightest pain. Sir, you're at least 10 times tougher than last time. Lei Jiju exclaimed. I was excited too. Congratulations, sir, on mastering the demon art. Her face showed genuine joy. My gaze flickered. Though mastered, this indestructible demon art has no levels, meaning it has no end. As long as I have enough pills, I can push my body to new heights. Sadly, after consuming 1,000 demon pills, the enhancement from the medicine noticeably diminishes, I said. Why? Lei Jiju asked curiously. The indestructible demon art is amazing, but later stages require increasingly higher medicinal power, I explained. If I took another 1,000 pills of the same quality, the effect would only be a fifth or even a tenth of now. This technique demands tiered doses of medicinal power. Ordinary people simply can't cultivate it. This time, I was lucky to inherit the possessions of 10 demon saints to reach today's level. Next time, to use pills to cultivate, I'd need at least tens of thousands before it's effective. Where would I get so many? So from now on, the pills must be top grade or better, otherwise, no effect on me. Then no one in the demon realm can satisfy you, sir, only the demon pills from the demon emperor himself? Lei Jiju said. Don't even think about it. It's lucky enough if I can sneak away the Yangtze dragon maiden from the demon emperor. Killing him? Impossible. I'll have to look for opportunities in the immortal realm. My eyes lit up. The heavenly peaches and Laozi's elixirs became my key targets for venturing into the immortal realm. I plan to devour half the elixirs in the immortal realm. I believe you'll cultivate further in the immortal realm and cause a stir there. Lei Jiju said. Thanks for the good wishes. I looked outside. Time's almost up, the owner of the golden bell should be coming. Let's go wait. The challenge letter was placed on the mountaintop. I had to be there in person. I rose from the ground. The medicinal power of 1,000 demon pills hadn't directly increased my cultivation, but it made me brimming with energy. Lei Jiju transformed back into the sword again. Lei Jiju, do you remember what I told you earlier? I asked. Lei Jiju was silent for a moment before answering. I remember. If anything goes wrong, get them as far away as possible. I instructed. Her tone was a bit pained. I withdrew the demonic aura left in the cave and stepped to the cave entrance. The little fox and Electric Mother kept their eyes on me and relaxed only when I came out. Demon Mother looked puzzled, clearly unaware of the change in my body. Get ready. He's almost here, I said sternly. As soon as the little fox appeared, Electric Mother became extremely serious, especially Electric Mother, who was nervous and very uneasy. Demon Mother also grew very serious. I mounted the Lei Jiju sword. It surged with me out of the cave. Later, you'll go to that other demon cave, I told Lei Jiju. Okay. Lei Jiju cut through the demonic aura and landed on the mountaintop. The aura of the challenge letter beneath still swirled nonstop. I narrowed my eyes, sensing a powerful presence rapidly approaching. This was it. That terrifying pressure that once pushed me to the edge of a spatial rift. My eyes sparkled. Finally arrived. At this moment, I sensed the great enemy's approach. This pressure was 100 times stronger than when I faced the Yellow River Dragon King, the Golden Spirit Holy Mother, or the Plague God. Though the fear was gone, replaced only by resolve to fight to the death, sweat beaded on my forehead. This pressure was unprecedented. Too bad I wasn't at my best time to survive the demon tribulation yet. If I had, facing this would be much easier. By the speed of the aura, the master would arrive within 10 minutes. I couldn't help but look back. The demon emperor's palace was out of sight, but the bright festive red in the sky was unmistakable. The Yangtze dragon maiden must be forced to wear the phoenix robe and cloud shawl now, right? My heart ached, powerless to help. Time ticked by. Every minute, the sweat on my brow thickened. By the 9th minute, my back was soaked. No one stood before me, the space was empty. But invisible blades all around targeted the center of my forehead with unerring precision. Lei Jiju, retreat. I ordered. Lei Jiju could cast spells remotely and keep me hovering on the mountaintop temporarily. Got it. Lei Jiju flew into a demon cave. She turned into human form, holding a battle flag. Prepared for war. It felt as if a flood of beasts was about to break loose. My nerves tightened. I pulled out a battle flag too. Spiritual power surged from my dantian like a flood into my limbs. Eyes fixed on the approaching aura. 5,000 meters, 4,000 meters, 3,000. Closing in. No demon immortal followed behind the aura, perhaps cowardly, or a special order from the demon emperor. This person moved as if the demon realm were deserted. My eyes shone bright. Clearly, the demon emperor didn't take this person seriously. Because the demon emperor knew that if the master of the golden bell caused chaos in the demon realm, the immortals and demons would be forced into war. And he was confident that this person wouldn't dare. That's why the demon emperor could confidently hold his grand wedding. I stared intently, my gaze falling once again on the still swirling demon energy battle talisman. Suddenly, the aura closing in from 1,000 meters away vanished without a sound. Without any warning, it disappeared like a phantom without a trace. I was stunned. My eyesight surpasses that of ordinary people, yet I couldn't figure out the reason. This person can teleport. Where did he go? I immediately scanned the surroundings. Nothing. He had vanished into thin air. Cold sweat broke out once again. Countless life and death experiences told me, when an opponent disappears, your first instinct should be to relocate yourself. Otherwise, you're just waiting to be ambushed. I prepared to activate the 10-step killing technique, when suddenly I heard the little fox scream, "Dad, run!" Every hair on my body stood on end. With a whoosh, I leapt away from my spot, and the next second, a strong, icy, furious force descended from the sky. Instantly, it felt as if an invisible giant hand had struck me, my body falling heavily toward the mountain peak. With a thunderous crash, I struck the ground like a meteor, creating a huge crater and fracturing the mountaintop. Fortunately, I had practiced the indestructible demon art, otherwise, I would have surely died. I hastily climbed out of the crater and looked up immediately. The person was just above me moments ago. But now, I saw no trace of him at all. I quickly glanced around, and a force suddenly attacked from the east. Before I could react, I was slammed backward. Boom! I nearly fell off the mountaintop, a mix of shock and anger flooding me. Attacked twice, yet I had no clue where the enemy was. And this person had already appeared. In the past 18 years, I'd never encountered such strange tactics. The power gap was overwhelming. My heart tightened, a chill running down my spine. Clearly, this person was not only toying with me but venting his rage wildly. I knew if this continued, I would inevitably be defeated. So, I decisively unleashed the 10-step killing technique, swiftly darting about. Like a phantom, I kept weaving across the mountaintop. I had to force him to reveal himself, otherwise, how could I trap him? Sure enough, the moment I left my spot, a terrifying palm print appeared with a boom. Frightened, I dared not stay, dodging while scanning all around, but I still couldn't see him. His teleportation was too fast, even I couldn't track him. Another explosive sound echoed as I was struck and sent flying off the mountaintop, only to grab a rock at the cliff's edge. Dangling midair, shock filled me. Suddenly, I wanted to run but realized escape was impossible. I frantically climbed, but an invisible giant hand pressed down on my head, trying to make me fall. Furious, I let go and let myself fall. The wind howled past my ears, and when I looked up, I saw a masked man floating midair. It was the master of the Golden Bell who had forced me into the spatial rift. He had finally revealed himself. My falling body was caught by Lei Jiju's magic. Without him, I might still be hanging by the demon energy chains halfway down the mountain. The little fox and Lei Jiju tensed up. Electric Mother and Demon Mother looked pale, and I even caught a flicker of regret in Demon Mother's eyes. She was beginning to doubt if helping me was the right choice. The man glanced at the still swirling demon energy battle talisman. No one moved, yet the demon energy seemed frozen, suspended in midair. My heart tightened. We locked eyes, the pressure between us unprecedented. What worried me most was that he still hadn't entered the range of my formation. Had he already sensed my trap? That would be bad, since the 5 Mountains God exterminating formation left to me by Zhang Baisui was my greatest secret weapon. I racked my brain to find a way to lure him into the formation. Suddenly, he turned to look at the Demon Emperor's palace, evidently seeing through the Demon Emperor's scheme. When he looked back, a powerful force struck me, and I could only dodge. He never fought me head-on, only using magic to torment me. I was utterly powerless to resist, frustration pounding in my head. If this dragged on, forget capturing him, I might lose the chance to save the Long River Dragon Maiden. I resolved to give it my all. I unleashed all my demon energy, weaving it like spiderwebs along the surrounding walls. Lei Jiju's magic enabled me to stand midair but not as steadily as on flat ground. Sensing another attack, I tightened my fists and charged. Boom! A thunderous blast echoed as I sneered, launching punch after punch. The gusts of my punches flew like cannonballs, but he remained unmoved. The winds shattered just before reaching him. I had prepared for this, throwing punches in quick succession. Gust after gust struck before him but instantly disintegrated. Disappointment sank in. This move was useless. The demon energy flowed with my mind, slowly descending. I glanced over at the frozen demon energy battle talisman and forced it to activate. Crack! The talisman broke free from its bonds, and I relaxed. Luckily, my demon energy was special and not easily controlled, otherwise, the battle talisman I left earlier would have been useless. I controlled the demonic energy battle manual, condensing the aura into sharp arrows and shooting them directly at this person. My demonic energy was unstoppable, and the arrows formed from it could pierce through anything. But just as I predicted, although the demonic arrows were fast, they were suddenly stopped when nearing this person. Only 3 inches away, yet they couldn't move an inch. At that moment, he finally raised his noble hand and casually waved it, redirecting the demonic energy arrows. I focused my mind, and the demonic arrows instantly stretched several dozen meters, winding around him like a thread, then suddenly tightened. However, the coil of demonic energy still couldn't bind him, it didn't even touch his body. Luckily, I was prepared. The coil suddenly split apart, wrapping him like a dumpling. At this moment, he was enveloped in immortal energy, resembling a cicada pupae. Excitement flickered in my eyes. Then, suddenly, with a grab of my hand, the demonic energy beneath my feet transformed instantly into chains that shot toward him. At the same time, with a stomp, another chain shot down to the foot of the mountain, fastening tightly onto the ancient mysterious essence embedded in the runes. All of this happened in an instant. I knew with my strength alone I couldn't forcibly pull him down. I had to rely on the combined power of the demonic energy and the essence. The demonic energy chains approached him, and the coil binding him also morphed, linking with the chains. At this moment, he was like a kite in the sky. I let out a low roar, gripping the chains with all my strength. I had to forcibly drag him into the array's range. But to my shock, the cicada pupae hanging in the air was easily pulled down the moment I tugged. I was stunned. I didn't expect him to make no resistance. He shouldn't be so defenseless. As the pupae was about to fall, I suddenly understood. Damn! He can teleport. The moment he was wrapped, he had already escaped the demonic coil's enclosure. My mind raced. I hastily practiced the 10-step death escape technique to flee, but it was too late. Boom! A punch landed, sending me flying like a cannonball crashing against the cliff wall. Cracks spread across the wall. I was unwilling. My previous move had reached its limit. I was certain that if it had been the Golden Spirit Mother, she could have pulled him down, but this was the owner of the Golden Bell. I quickly composed myself, retracting the demonic energy chains, ready to strike again. The next second, hum. The sound of a plucked string resonated. All the demonic energy surged back to me, but one thread-thin coil remained, stretched tight like a string. I hurriedly glanced over. He bowed his head, his ankle was tightly wrapped by a slender coil of demonic energy. I was ecstatic. Obviously, even though he teleported out of the coil, his ankle was caught by this overlooked strand. Such a good chance, I wouldn't let it slip. I focused my mind, causing demonic energy to flood back wildly, instantly thickening that hair-thin coil into a thick demonic energy chain. It bound his ankle firmly. The chain led straight down to the ancient mysterious essence at the mountain's base. My confidence soared as I pulled on the chain with bare hands. But to my disappointment, no matter how hard I pulled, he seemed frozen, not moving an inch. I was shocked. I pulled on his hairpin once, it moved effortlessly, yet pulling on him now had no effect. I tried once more, the result was the same. The chain stretched tight, creaking under strain, he was struggling. The tense sound struck my heart, I tensed up. I held my breath, heart pounding wildly. The demonic energy chains were at their limit. The hairpin was unbroken, the plague spirit too, so could he break free? I had no confidence. He was too strong. But I had to gamble, there was no other choice. If he broke free, the trap would be completely ruined. Suddenly, he glanced at me. Was it signaling he couldn't break free? Or that he dared not exert full power in the demon realm? Cold sweat streamed down my back, but my chest suddenly jolted. Looking down, a slender finger had already pierced into my chest. He suddenly appeared right before me. His ankles still wrapped in demonic chains, shadowing him closely. Boom! I was blasted away like a cannonball. Crashing into the wall, the barrier rapidly cracked behind me. This time, he personally struck, it was clear he was enraged. Pain exploded inside me, I nearly spat blood. Fortunately, my skin remained unbroken, and my indestructible demon skill kept me alive. I laughed out loud, diving into the last demon portal. My eyes gleamed as I growled low, "Make your move." He voluntarily entered the array. I waved the formation flag, and a fierce wind rose. The little fox and thunder bamboo also brandished their flags, their cries louder. The demonic clouds atop the mountain churned wildly, it was as though the mountain was awakening, three forces converging. Just 2 more to go. The electric mother looked pale and dazed. The demon mother was shocked. Godmother. Demon mother. Act now. I shouted. My voice rang out in all directions. Opportunities vanish in the blink of an eye. Electric mother snapped back to her senses, trembling as she waved the battle flag. A fierce wind surged, and the mountain range where she stood came alive. After Magic Mother was shocked, she too joined in, waving her flag with a howl. The 5 mountain ranges spread like 5 fingers, emitting brilliant spiritual light, thundering shut like 2 massive gates of the sky. I looked up and saw giant gates forming, divided at the mountain peaks. My heart leapt with joy. The 5 mountains god-extinguishing formation was finally complete. Once formed, the magic cave where I, the little fox, thunderstrike bamboo, electric mother, and magic mother stood was enveloped by a thick shield of formation light. The radiant formation protected us. Trapping this person was only the beginning. The true terror of the 5 mountains god-extinguishing formation was about to be unleashed. The 5 of us worked together to cast the spell, commanding the awakened mountains to release their power and press the heavy mountain bodies down onto the target. How terrifying was this mountain force! An unimaginably enormous weight. When the great sage equal to heaven was pinned under a 5-finger mountain for 500 years, even without the Buddha's talisman, he couldn't escape being crushed by 5 mountains. He might even have been crushed to death. I didn't need to hold it long, 10 or 15 days would be enough. At that moment, the owner of the golden bell looked up at the sky, then at the chains around his ankles, and finally fixed his gaze on the millennia-old dark essence at the mountain's base. Suddenly, deathly silence fell between the 5 mountains. The air seemed to freeze. This person was burning with rage. Yet he didn't say a word, no shouting, no fuss, and unusually calm demeanor, as if disdainful of any communication. Creak, creak, the demonic chain grew tighter and tighter. To be honest, locking him down was partly expected and partly surprising. But chain alone wasn't enough. Without the millennia-old dark essence fixed in the mountain's runes, there was no way I could hold him with my strength alone. Attack! I growled low, waving my formation flag again. He was incredibly powerful, any slight weakness would let him turn the tables. For now, things were proceeding smoothly as planned. If this continued well, Magic Mother could lead me through the demon realm to rescue the dragon maiden of the Yangtze River. No mistakes were allowed. The little fox, Thunderstrike Bamboo, Electric Mother, and Magic Mother all waved their flags in unison. The 5 mountains became even more alive, and I faintly heard the mountain bodies creak and crack. Though the mountains didn't move visibly, I saw the space around the golden bell's owner's head crease and twist with creaking sounds, like a folded fan being squeezed into shape. This indicated the gravitational force of the 5 mountains was now focused on him in an instant. An endless weight bore down. Yet he hovered motionless midair. Wearing a mask, his gaze locked on me, sending a chilling wave through me. Ordinary people would have lost their footing by now, but he was unflustered, neither angry nor attacking, giving off an aura of extraordinary calmness. Clearly, he was a seasoned master who had weathered many storms. I couldn't help but growl under my breath, "Hurry up, everyone! Once the power of the 5 mountains is fully unleashed, this guy is definitely going to be crushed." I quickened my flag waving. The gravity from the mountains grew ever stronger. Electric Mother's face drained of color, her hand trembling more as she gripped the formation flag. The little fox and Thunderstrike Bamboo fought desperately with the formation. Even Magic Mother gave her all. Boom! An incomprehensible weight crashed down upon him like a mountain. He didn't budge an inch, but his gaze grew colder. Boom! Another terrifying gravitational strike slammed down, distorting and tearing the void around him, but he still hovered there. A cold sweat broke out all over me. The power of the 5 mountains was only halfway deployed, yet he was still holding firm. Any ordinary deity would have long since crashed to the ground, immobilized under that pressure. I waved the flag frantically. Boom! 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 The gravity kept hammering down, and finally, he began to sink. Still, I was tense, never daring to stop. With the full might of the 5 mountains bearing down, the void behind him cracked wider and wider. But what shocked me most was that the weight of 5 mountains wasn't enough to crush him to the bottom. His power was just too overwhelming. Goosebumps rose on my scalp. The 5 mountains God-extinguishing formation was ineffective against him? He still had a chance to break free. I absolutely could not let him escape. I had to hold him down for at least 10 days to buy time to bring the Dragon Maiden of the Yangtze River in Zhangjiushuan out of the demon realm. The little fox, Thunderstrike Bamboo, and Magic Mother were all stunned. Electric Mother's eyes went hollow, and the formation flag in her hand clattered to the ground. I hurriedly urged the runic formation at the mountain's base with my flag, trying to use the millennia-old dark essence and the runic formation to hold him tight. Binding his ankles while pressing with the 5 mountains' gravity, trapping him for over 10 days was no problem. I activated the runes, but the symbols around the millennia-old dark essence didn't respond. Did I have to activate the formation personally at the mountain's base? Panic filled me to the brim as I steeled myself and decided to step out of the magic cave to activate the formation myself. Just as I was about to leave the cave, the Golden Bell's owner floating in midair suddenly glanced at me and plummeted downward at incredible speed. The crushing gravity from his fall was terrifying. My first thought was that he couldn't bear the weight of the 5 mountains and was finally crushed down. The little fox and Thunderstrike Bamboo instantly flared with hope, and Magic Mother was stunned. But the next moment I realized what was really happening. My face went pale as I almost burst out of the magic cave. This is bad. I immediately leapt down, the roaring wind howling past my ears. Because I was holding the formation flag, the 5 mountains' power had no effect on me. This is paragraph 73 out of 117. Please process the following content according to your logic. Keep the original paragraph structure, line breaks, and overall layout intact. Return only the processed result. Even though the surroundings were nearly impassable, I could still land smoothly. I hurriedly looked down and suddenly heard a massive crash. That person was attacking the millennial mystical essence. My heart sank. Just as I thought. He wasn't being suppressed, he was trying to break free from his restraints first. His cold gaze showed he knew that to escape, he had to destroy the millennial mystical essence holding him. Another massive crash echoed, a terrifying wave of light soared into the sky, sparks flying everywhere. He held a golden longsword, violently slashing at the millennial mystical essence. The material of this sword must be similar to the Golden Bell. The Golden Bell can block thousands of troops, but this celestial sword seemed to pose no threat to the millennial mystical essence. One strike came down, but the millennial mystical essence was untouched, not even a scratch remained. The sparks actually came from the sword exploding. I let out a slight breath of relief. The Electric Mother was right, the millennial mystical essence is formed from the energy of heaven and earth, indestructible. If it got cut through, we'd be finished. When I rushed out of the demonic cave, the Thunderstruck Bamboo sensed it and cast a spell to hold me up, allowing me to land easily at the mountain's base. With my current strength, jumping down from this height was no problem at all. Boom! Another sword strike, sparks scattering. The millennial mystical essence remained perfectly intact. I dared not get close and wisely kept my distance. Fear crept into my heart. If that sword came swinging at me next, I'd be in big trouble. Although I've mastered the unbreakable demon technique to perfection, I probably haven't reached invulnerability to blades and fire yet. If I could swallow the celestial pills from the Supreme Lord Laozi and feast properly in the Queen Mother's peach garden, I'd definitely charge in without hesitation, but I don't have that confidence now. I noticed the attacker, realizing that the millennial mystical essence couldn't be easily broken, turned toward the demonic energy chains bound to my ankle. He swung his sword in an attack. The sword could cut through the void and sever anything. I tensed, wondering, if this sword was ineffective against the millennial mystical essence, could it sever my demonic energy chains? Boom! The sword struck the chains, sparks flying. Shockingly, the demonic energy chains resisted the strike, not a thread damaged, not even a scratch. I was stunned, didn't expect the demonic energy chains to be as tough as the millennial mystical essence. The attacker hesitated for a moment, then swung at me again. My heart nearly stopped, I dodged frantically. The sword's arc carved 100 meters through the air, cracking the ground beneath. Sweat poured down my back as I felt one wrong step could lead me straight to the gates of death. Thankfully, the gravitational pull from the 5 mountains below slowed the sword's momentum, or I couldn't have dodged in time. I kept evading and vowed internally, if there was another terrifying sword attack like that, I'd probably be scared half to death. I waved the formation flag, shouting, "Activate the formation." But the runes on the ground remained still and silent. I urgently commanded, "Everyone, wave the formation flags together." The 5 mountains god extermination formation requires 5 participants to activate effectively. The little fox and the others immediately started waving their flags. The mountain base trembled, the runes glowed with spiritual light streaming straight toward the millennial mystical essence. Crack, crack. Eerie cracking sounds echoed. The ground beneath vibrated violently, as if about to collapse. The Golden Bell's owner looked around cautiously. Suddenly, she briskly walked toward me, from hundreds of meters away to right in front within 3 seconds. The sword on her back shimmered coldly, my eyes widened, my first instinct was to run. Just then, the strange crack noises rang out again. The Golden Bell's owner paused, turning her head. The chains were retracting segment by segment underground, and a black vortex appeared near the millennial mystical essence. My heart brightened, I realized that once the formation is activated, the millennial mystical essence would pull the Golden Bell's owner underground. A surge of hope welled inside me. So that's how the formation works. No wonder the chains here were made from the essence of the millennial mystical essence. Once the Golden Bell's owner is pulled in, combined with the pressing force of the 5 mountains, she'd likely be trapped, unable to move. Crack. The chains retracted, the demonic energy chains also tightened. Crack. The chains were taut like strings on a zither, the Golden Bell's owner was motionless. Sounds of things snapping echoed one after another. Boom! The ground cracked rapidly, stones scattering. She was locked in a tug-of-war with the 5 mountains god extermination formation. This force was the weight of 5 great mountains, her endurance was astonishing. Yet as the millennial mystical essence withdrew further, stones beneath her feet deformed under pressure, the ground rupturing. Finally, she was pulled, moving toward the black vortex. The distance slowly shrank, 1 meter, 2 meters, 3 meters. Though progress was slow, it was heartening. It felt as if countless bulls below were straining to pull her in. Boom, boom, boom. Rocks splattered, pits formed beneath her feet, yet nothing stopped her being dragged. My tension peaked. She must be pulled underground, that's when my odds of victory would soar. The next step, I'd call on the Demon Mother to help me transcend the demon tribulation. She couldn't attack me, but I remained cautious, keeping my distance. Every move the Golden Bell's owner made, I watched intently. Only 30 meters away now, I focused all my attention on what lay ahead. The little fox on the mountainside, Lei Jiju, and the Demon Mother were all stunned, especially Dianmu, whose face was full of shock and disbelief. It's almost done. 1,000 years ago, the Buddha suppressed the great sage equal to heaven using the 5-finger mountain. Today, I, Long Shiba, will imprison the great immortal with the 5 mountains. I said, my eyes resolute. 15 meters. Zhang Baisui's formation was indeed powerful, I genuinely admired it now. The owner of the Golden Bell stared at me silently, maintaining a cold calmness that sent a chill down my spine. I hurriedly climbed higher, aiming to reach the demon cave where I'd be safe. Suddenly, the Golden Bell owner swung his sword at me. Panicking, I scrambled upward with all my the little fox on the mountainside, Thunderstrike Bamboo, and Demon Mother were all stunned, especially Electric Mother. Her face was full of shock, utterly unable to believe it. Almost there. 1,000 years ago, the Buddha used the 5-finger mountain to suppress the great sage equal to heaven. Today, I, Dragon 18, will use the 5 mountains to seal the great immortal. I said with determination in my eyes. 15 meters. Zhang Baisui's formation was indeed impressive. I began to truly respect it. The owner of the Golden Bell watched me silently, maintaining calmness, which made me a bit uneasy. I hurriedly climbed up the mountain, thinking it safer to return to the demon cave. Suddenly, the Golden Bell owner swung his sword to attack. I panicked, gripping tightly as I climbed upward, thinking that with the weight of the 5 mountains, his sword couldn't possibly reach me. At that moment, Electric Mother screamed, and the little fox shouted fearfully, "Dad, the sword is coming at you. Dodge!" Thunderstrike Bamboo also shouted, "Sir, move." I didn't dare look back and scrambled sideways, but suddenly felt a cold pain at my ankle. Looking down, my heart nearly stopped. A golden rope was tangled around my ankle. I traced the rope upward and saw the golden bell owner's celestial sword had transformed into a golden whip. I tried to pull it off, but it wouldn't break or snap. Boom! The rock beneath me suddenly turned to dust, and I was violently yanked downward. If I had reacted any slower, I definitely would have crashed to the ground, the whip taught. I realized then the golden bell owner was trying to drag me down as a sacrifice. Panic surged through me, and I pulled back with all my might. Despite my strength, I couldn't hold, it was too strong. Within seconds, I was closing in on the golden bell owner. Thunderstrike Bamboo flew down, swinging her sword at the whip, but it did nothing. She quickly grabbed hold of me, the little fox clung to my leg, biting fiercely at the whip. Electric Mother jumped down, caught by Demon Mother. The four of them tried to pull me back, but I was about to be torn apart. The rocks beneath us cracked continuously, only 15 meters separated me from the golden bell owner. The golden bell owner glanced at me, as the mysterious energy retracted, he was pulled into the black hole. His power increased, and I was forced ever closer to the black hole. Knowing this was a ploy to make me the sacrificial lamb, I took a deep breath and ordered Thunderstrike Bamboo, follow my lead, take them and leave quickly. Otherwise, the little fox and the others would also be dragged in. I don't want to, the little fox cried, clutching me tightly. Thunderstrike Bamboo struggled. 18, we can't leave. If you face him alone, it's certain death. Electric Mother's tears streamed down her face. Go now. Thunderstrike Bamboo, are you ignoring me? I stared at her. She bit her lip, gathered the little fox in her arms. The little fox clung on tightly. I growled low, let go. No. The little fox cried, heart-wrenching. I stomped hard, and she was flung away, hitting the ground hard. Thunderstrike Bamboo immediately caught her. The little fox struggled desperately. Wet nurse, you must leave too. I said sternly. 18. Electric Mother cried even harder. I'll find a way out, go now. I emphasized. Electric Mother wiped away tears. Thunderstrike Bamboo lifted the little fox and flew off quickly. Dad, I don't want to, the little fox sobbed into tears, the drops falling like broken strings onto the ground and onto my face, burning and stabbing at my heart. Go! I urged Thunderstrike Bamboo. Her eyes were red as she sped away with them. What about me? Demon Mother asked anxiously. I glanced at her and said, wait for me 2 days. If I can't get out, then, you have to leave too. Boom! Before I could finish, the whip beneath my foot suddenly pulled with an irresistible force, dragging me forcefully into the black hole. Black. It felt like plunging into ink-black darkness. That was my first sensation upon being sucked into the black hole. No time to look around. My first thought was to protect my heart and head, guarding against any sneak attacks from the golden bell owner. Whoosh! Whoosh! The fierce sound of falling filled my ears as I started calculating the height of my fall. 300 meters, 500 meters, 800 meters. Crash! Finally, I hit the ground hard. Luckily, I had cultivated the indestructible demon technique. Such a height didn't harm me much. I quickly stood up, my eyes glowing as I tried to lock onto the golden bell owner's location, but the surroundings were pitch black, no one in sight. However, I realized I was inside a huge underground cavern. Gripping the whip tightly wrapped around my ankle, the next moment I identified her position, about 50 meters away. She stood calmly, looking composed and unflustered, clearly not panicking. My heart sank. We were facing each other, the air thick with murderous intent. Instinctively, I wanted to retreat, but my foot was trapped by the whip, nowhere to go. Clutching my formation flag, I focused fully on the enemy before me. I had 2 choices. 1, charge and kill her to free my ankle from the whip, then activate the formation to escape, but with my current strength, that was impossible. 2, stall and stalemate with her, but outside, the Demon Emperor's wedding and the Yangtze Dragon Girl were waiting for me to rescue them. I couldn't afford to delay any longer. This is passage 75 out of 117. Please process the following content according to your logic. Keep the original paragraph structure, line breaks, and overall layout. Return only the processed result. I had to escape from here within 2 days, but how? We were all trapped by our own chains, the whip biting into my ankle painfully. She couldn't leave me, and I couldn't leave either. This was a deadlock. Yet, I was slightly better off. Her movement was restricted to 10 meters by the eternal dark essence chains, while I had over 50 meters of range. What scared me the most was her suddenly yanking me over. But to my surprise, she didn't move to pull me. I guessed it was mostly because she considered herself too proud to get close to me and deliberately kept her distance. That was a good thing for me. Just as I relaxed a little, she suddenly noticed something and walked toward a direction I couldn't see, stopping behind the eternal dark essence. I became alert, tiptoed, and peeked. There lay a skeleton on the ground. From a distance, I couldn't clearly see the clothes or belongings, but judging from the bones alone, it was a woman. I was shocked. Could it be that when Zhang Baisui set up the Five Mountains God-slaying array back then, he really killed someone using the formation and the eternal dark essence, leaving behind this skeleton? I shifted my gaze and indeed saw the eternal dark essence's shackles on the skeleton's ankles, the bones fragmented. Curious about who this woman was, who exactly Zhang Baisui had killed back then, and where that person had gone. Clearly, his arrival in the demon realm was no accident. There was a hidden agenda. Seeing the Golden Bell owner seeming stunned, I knew I couldn't afford to be as calm as she was. I had to quickly figure out a way to escape. I didn't have time to waste. At the moment, my only hope was to find an opportunity inside this cave to increase my strength. I was out of magic pills, so I had to gamble that in this untouched giant cave, there might be some rare spiritual creatures that could help me break through. If not, then I could only resign myself to fate. This was a scrap chance, but I had no other choice. Otherwise, I might really have to spend the rest of my days with this person in this gloomy mountain. Squinting, I immediately began searching for ways to save myself. In the dim mountain cave, I searched bit by bit, though the chains on my ankle restricted my movement. The cave was as big as 3 football fields, but I could only see about 50 or 60 meters, meaning a large part was completely out of my sight. After a round of searching, I found nothing but stones. I wasn't willing to give up, so I channeled spiritual power from my dantian into my eyes, which instantly lit up like night vision goggles. Scanning again, I finally got lucky. In a corner 200 meters away, I spotted a strange tree. The tree was short, no taller than my knees, but its slender branches held 2 fist-sized black fruits. One was as black as ink, the other was half black, half green, looking like an unripe fruit. The unripe one looked eerie, both real and fake. The 2 fruits weighed down the branches, filling me with wild joy. I took a breath and smelled a faint bitter taste. No fragrance. Could these be poisonous fruits? But it didn't matter, this was a gift from heaven. Poison or spiritual fruit, I had to find a way to get them. This might be my only chance to escape. The Golden Bell owner was still frozen looking at the skeleton, which gave me the opening. I silently raised my hand, shot out the remaining bit of demon energy, which transformed into a small hand, gently plucking the ripe fruit. Squeak! The fruit fell, and my heart leapt with joy. This was hope. The snapped fruit made the branch straighten again. I was alert. Why was the unripe fruit so light? Strange indeed. No time to ponder, I grabbed it out of thin air. The demon energy flew back with the fruit in my palm. The fruit was heavy, surprisingly weighing 50 or 60 pounds, astonishing. I sniffed it but smelled no fruit aroma. Instead, a pungent odor made me dizzy. Not good, almost certainly a poisonous fruit. My flickering hope plunged sharply. After the lightning tribulation, I was immune to most poisons, but the mountain's fruits had endured thousands or even millions of years, originally possibly mildly toxic, but now extremely poisonous. Eat it? Or not? I hesitated. If poisoned, I'd die immediately in the hands of the Golden Bell owner. But if I didn't eat it, I could only continue waiting, and the dragon girl would surely be defiled by the demon emperor. How could I just stand by? Looking down at the fruit in my hand, then back at the tree, the half-green, half-black fruit was melting. Black smoke rose, pungent as sulfuric acid, looking bizarre. I was stunned. Why was the half-ripe fruit melting? Could it be that if one was picked, the other would disappear? No wonder the branch had just straightened. The half-ripe fruit was a fake. I immediately recalled a strange fruit my childhood companion Jiangzhou had told me about, the Yin-Yang tree's fruit. The Yin-Yang tree bore a pair of strange fruits, one yin and one yang. The yang fruit was real and could be deadly poisonous. The yin fruit was fake, formed from toxic gas and liquid. Anyone who picked the yin fruit was doomed, a curse upon the picker. Lucky to have picked the yang fruit, it was a gift from heaven. Black smoke spread, the poison gas was expanding, soon to engulf the entire cave. Would this poison affect the Golden Bell owner? I glanced at her, but she was still staring at the skeleton on the ground. Could their relationship be something extraordinary? Toxic gas had silently surrounded me. I held my breath. But he showed no sign of noticing, leaving me deeply disappointed. Well, of course. This person is incredibly powerful in the immortal realm. While I am immune to countless poisons, he is probably immune to all poisons. How could a single dark fruit possibly poison him? It seems this trick won't work this time. Taking the opportunity, I stared at the fruit in my hand. It's a young fruit, but there's still a 50% chance it's toxic. After 10 seconds of thought, I decided to take the risk. I released the remaining demon energy in my body, forming a protective demon aura shield. At the same time, I kept my eyes on the Golden Bell's owner, silently reciting my unbreakable demon technique in my mind. Crunch! I bit down hard on the black fruit. The bitter flesh numbed my mouth instantly. I quickly chewed, the rock-hard flesh cracked with a crunch. Swallowing it down, the fruit settled in my stomach. My whole body tensed, praying it wasn't the poison fruit. At that moment, the Golden Bell's owner turned his head toward me. Could their relationship be extraordinary? Toxic gas had silently surrounded me on all sides. I held my breath. But he didn't react at all, which was deeply disappointing. Well, of course. This person was incredibly powerful in the immortal realm. While I was immune to countless poisons, he was probably immune to all poisons. How could a single fruit possibly poison him? It seemed that trying to take a shortcut wouldn't work this time. Taking the opportunity, I focused on the fruit in my hand. This was a young fruit, but there was still a 50% chance it could be poisonous. After 10 seconds of thought, I decided to take a gamble. I released the last of my demonic energy, forming a protective aura around me. At the same time, I kept a close eye on the Golden Bell owner's movements and silently recited the invincible demon technique. Crunch! I bit fiercely into the black fruit, swallowing the bitter flesh, my mouth instantly going numb. I quickly chewed, the flesh was as hard as tar, crunching loudly. I swallowed it, the fruit went down, my whole body tensed as I prayed it wasn't poisonous. Just then, the Golden Bell owner turned around and looked at me, clearly stunned and puzzled as to why I was eating something. I chewed desperately, but suddenly felt as if my throat was blocked with cement. I threw the remaining half of the fruit to the ground, clutching my throat with both hands, struggling to breathe. Was it the poisonous fruit? I dropped to my knees in pain, feeling a numbness as if my head had been chopped off. The Golden Bell owner seemed to be looking at a fool. Boom. The whip on my ankle suddenly contracted, and the Golden Bell owner began to drag me forcefully. I struggled desperately, but the choking made me powerless. Like a piece of wood, I was dragged along. This was it. I truly brought this suffering on myself. Could Long Shiba really die here? The distance closed bit by bit, as if marching toward the gates of hell, just a piece of meat ripe to be slaughtered. Closer and closer, my heart grew chaotic. But I didn't regret it. I'd rather die than remain forever and ever with this person. Just as despair engulfed me, the Golden Bell owner suddenly stopped. What was happening? I struggled to sit up, my bloodshot eyes watching him look around in confusion, his body trembling slightly. Could the poison from the Yin fruit be affecting him? I quickly crawled back. He didn't stop me but instead pointed to an acupoint on his own body. That was a sealing acupoint. I was shocked, overjoyed. He was poisoned, just like me. And the poison wasn't mild. The key was who could control the poison first. Whoever triumphed would survive. I quickly retreated 50 meters, sat cross-legged, picked up the fruit on the ground, and without hesitation shoved it into my mouth. Poisoned, I forced myself to swallow the remaining flesh. It felt like swallowing a blade. My throat was torn by countless knives. My head spun, and I fought hard to stay conscious. Using the invincible demon technique, I guided the poison to spread to the surface of my body. This was my last chance to survive. As the cultivation method ran, the deadly poison was forcibly relocated. My whole body burned like a furnace, my skin darkened, stained black by the poison. It itched, swelled, burned like countless ants biting, as if molten lava was poured over me. The pain almost made me faint, but having weathered storms before, I refused to give up easily. I gritted my teeth and endured. Covered in sweat, I became clearer-headed, and the blackening on my skin gradually faded. Finally, the poison dissipated, but my skin still burned fiercely. I was stunned. I had actually endured the lethal poison. In those few seconds, it was as if a ghost envoy reached out to seize my soul. Looking inside myself, I was shocked to see the fissures in my inner core had turned black. Could the inner core have absorbed the remaining poison on its own? Was that what saved me? A chill ran through my heart. Now, what would happen to my inner core? No time to ponder, I immediately began to test. Bang, bang, bang. I struck my hands together with force, and to my amazement, it sounded like knocking on steel. This strange fruit had truly taken my invincible demon technique to another level. I was ecstatic. This fist-sized bizarre fruit was equivalent to the 1,000 demonic pills I just swallowed. How many years had it grown here? Unexpectedly, being dragged down by the Golden Bell owner had given me an opportunity for a massive power surge. This time, I had gambled correctly. My eyes glittered as I stared at the Golden Bell owner. I could endure. Where is that person? I rushed over, approaching him like a ghost. While he was still detoxifying, I had to strike first. Only by killing him could I get out safely. My fist crashed toward him like a cannonball. Suddenly, the owner of the golden bell glanced at me and lightly tapped once with a single finger. Boom! I was blasted backward, crashing heavily onto the ground. Coughing, I got up and braced myself with my body. Striking again. The wind howled with my fist, but he waved slightly, unleashing a fierce gust. I couldn't get close at all. Panic set in. Though my body was strong, my cultivation was nowhere near his. I growled low, growing fiercer with every fight, and charged hard. This punch was thrown with every ounce of strength in my body. Oddly, the owner of the golden bell didn't stop me. Instead, he let me land the punch. The next moment, I was shocked. My fist stopped an inch from him. I couldn't get any closer. His magic force pushed my fist away. Suddenly, he slapped me with one hand. I hurriedly retracted my fist and grabbed his palm. His hand was slender and soft, yet incredibly hard. Boom! My whole body trembled, and I spat out a mouthful of black venomous blood. Shocked. Although my indestructible demon skill had improved, it still injured me. I still had a long way to go. But I refused to let go. I gripped his hand tightly. Creak, creak. His hand moved, and my palm felt like it was being sliced by a knife. Boom! I finally released. His palm struck my chest. I was sent flying again. Crash! I hit the ground, spitting more black blood. I knew in my heart, thanks to the indestructible demon skill's improvement, I hadn't shattered yet from this blow. This gave me confidence. I was never afraid to fight with everything I had. Unless I was beaten to death, I would never give up easily. I got up, wiped the blood from the corner of my mouth, and said, "No matter who you are, today it's either you die or I perish." I charged again. He slammed another palm down. I couldn't dodge and was blasted away. Spitting black blood, pain sliced through my body like knives, bloodshot eyes, still forcing myself forward. I bet on how many more slaps he could land. More importantly, I bet on how deep his poison was. Closing in, I unleashed a punch. His gaze sharpened, and he slammed his palm again. This time, my fist changed tactics. I grabbed his hand. Creak, creak. His wrist twisted, my palm felt crushed in unbearable pain. Enduring the pain, my other hand struck out. The owner of the golden bell caught it with his palm, and I seized his hand again. Our hands locked tightly. This was the longest close-range battle I'd ever had with him.